Seems better now. Maybe the popping in and out fixed it.
Okay. Amazing.
There
It's
you go.
like sophisticated technical support right here.
Just reset it. That's all you got
Pop
to do.
out, pop back in. Guys, Mike just gave you the secret to trading.
Yes.
Sorry that you missed it.
Yeah. No. That's funny.
I'm just kidding. Hopefully some of that got recorded well. And if not, then, whatever. We'll have another discussion. I'll have you back on again. We'll actually do some hypos. That'll be fun to actually, do some hypos together. Like how you.
No, for sure. And because people will get a chance to see what it's like when a brand new person tries to
Yeah.
do.
So how long have you been trading? Like, what's your trading background? Like when did you
I
get
started
started?
trading in 2021.
Okay.
During the height of stupidity.
Stupid.
Literally, like during GameStop, that's when I started trading. Like,
did you start trading because of GameStop? That's the question.
No.
You're not a Wall Street.
I was just in it from like the 80s till somewhere around like, I think it closed at like, I don't know, like the top. Like whenever the thing happened where Robinhood couldn't buy anymore.
Right,
that's when I was like, okay, I'll wait for the retest and then I'm done. I'm out.
Robinhood was like, nothing to see here, guys. Nothing to see. Just can't close your positions. No worries.
No, so I learned probably during the, as a brand new person learning trading, I think I kind of went through the same steps a lot of people do, where you start out with like stocks and then you get into like options, and then you think that the more stocks you trade and the more things you're looking at, the better trader you are, right? Yeah. And then you find out that the hard way. I didn't really know what futures were. People would like talk about them, but I didn't know what they were. And then I got into futures probably like a year ago, maybe a little bit more than a year and a couple months. And I just trying to figure out the futures thing since, and went through. Oh man, I've definitely paid my market tuition on trading, courses and all that kind of stuff.
And you're all in, like you're not working another job. Like this is it. Like this is what you're doing.
They keep trying to get me back, but I mean, I'm still technically licensed, so I still have my licenses and my certificates and stuff. But no, I haven't done insurance for it's almost a year now. I've been retired, so
yeah. I think one of the things that that I was excited to talk to you about was your approach to your PA accounts, your combine accounts, right? Because you're like, you hear guys like doing interesting stuff, and then there's you. Because I'm like, it's kind of mind blowing. So like, why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Because this is where I'm like,
well, I can tell you what I was doing originally, and then I can tell you what I
kind of
settled
tell us
in
what's
on.
going on.
Yeah. So when I first started trading PA accounts, I kind of followed, it's like, oh, you have $150,000 account. All right, well, 150 times 1% is, $1,500, $2,000 a trade. All right, let's go. Right. And I do okay. Like I get them, I get close, or sometimes I even get them funded, but then I kind of keep that same risk ratio there. And those things are designed for you to fail. In my opinion, I can't talk for everyone, but think of it like this: if you were trading, right, and every time you got your account up, okay, they couldn't count that against you. That's what the eval companies can do to you with your trade, with the drawdown, right?
Yeah, the trailing drawdown.
As it goes up, your high water mark goes up.
Yeah.
And when it goes down, that's counting 2x against you. Yeah. And nobody's looking at that and realize. I didn't. It took me forever to figure it out. I was like, why does it? I thought I could lose $2,500.
Yeah. Nope.
No. because you went up and you closed at the exact right time, and you know the market is right, and so that's how I originally did it, and I blew up accounts. For the first like couple months, I wasn't even getting qualified, but I was okay with that because before then I would take like $10,000 or $20,000 and go try and trade futures on my own, right? And I trade like ES, and I do okay, and sometimes I'd be able to take money out first before I lost it again. And so then I was like, all right, I'm going to learn futures, and I need to have skin in the game. I need to force myself to say, okay, I'm not just trading sim, because I won't take it seriously, and that's on me. But I've done sim, and I'm like a master at trading sim, like the best you've ever seen. When you add in like real money, right, and like skin in the game.
Hey, I got a lot of people that would challenge you on that.
No, for sure.
No. I'm the best at sim.
Well, there's value to both, right? And so I'll test stuff in sim, I'll learn stuff in sim, and sometimes I'm just like, all right, I'm done. I'm just going to trade sim.
Yeah.
But for me, I need to have skin in the game to even have me interested to even do it, because it doesn't do me a lot of good to go trade with no real risk, no real skin in the game, and then now all of a sudden you have to, and then it's like you make different decisions. So I just wanted to know what my faults are and where I'm going to screw up at, where I need help at, and so I just go through eval accounts. Apex loves me. I'm like they see me coming, like, all right, let's go.
Free money.
Yeah, it's like. Yeah, so I don't know if they had an algorithm set up or whatever. Whenever I got online, they just say, hey, do you want to buy another account? So they had my number. So, but it was a lot cheaper than putting in $10,000 and losing $10,000, right?
Yeah.
So I paid my price with Apex accounts. Probably lost more accounts than anyone's ever than anyone until I started figuring it out. And the thing that really changed for me is when I started looking at the accounts differently, and the balance of the accounts, the actual drawdown as the balance, and then incorporating that with my actual win rate and doing statistics and doing back testing and figuring out what trade plan works and strategies work. Yeah. And hey, these are worst case scenarios, and I'll run into Monte Carlo and say, okay, if I do this and this will happen. Okay. And then, so I usually just treat them like, if it's a $50,000 account, most of them have a $2,500 drawdown. Mm-hmm. So you can never. So if you go up $1,250, right, and then go back down $1,250, and then down $1,250 again, the account blows up. People don't realize that it's not. It's not you just go to 47.5 and then you blow up. It's like no, if you go to from 50,000 to 51,250, and you go back down again, and then you go back down again, it's going to blow up. Yeah. And if you're trading ES, like the minis, that can happen pretty fast. I mean, if you're trading 3 contracts, risking $500-$600, 1, 2, 3, 4 trades, you're gone. Yeah. So, I was good, but that's a lot of management. You really have to get in at the exact right time, get out at the exact right time. And you got to hit that consistently and constantly. I had a hard time doing that with a lot of accounts. And you're risking, if you get it wrong, you're risking blowing up a bunch of accounts. Of course, if you get it right, you can fund a bunch of accounts. Yeah. But I just found that it was better to trade and fund the accounts the way that I actually want to trade them once they're funded. Mm-hmm. There are times, I'll be honest, where, they'll do the specials for 90, they're free, right? And so when that happens, I'm gonna be like, all right, well, let's just get that funded today.
But do I need to mention that there's a 90% off sale right now, Mike? Or is that too tempting for you?
Yeah, today's the last day.
Today's the last day. 11 hours, 10 hours left.
Yeah. So right now I have 10 funded accounts. I have 10 more that I'm trying to fund with them. Yeah. And they're $50,000 accounts. My plan with them is to just keep trading them the same way. I trade 3 micros, 2 micros. Generally, my trade is I'll take the 3 contracts, and then I'll take off 75%, so 2 of the contracts, once I'm 1-to-1, and then I just keep the runner on until I can hit my target or not. That's basically how it works.
Yeah.
And you're, at most you're risking $125, $150. If you get it wrong, well, that's okay. It's not the end of the world, you know. I don't really scalp. I have done that. I don't like it. It brings out the bad side of me. I think if I could be more robotic and kind of more like, you know, just non-emotional to anything
Yeah.
and non-reactive, I could
Yeah.
just sit there and take the scalp trade and the scalp won, the scalp lost. Okay, let's wait for the next one. I can't do that. And when I'm forced to like sit there and watch the screen the entire time on a 2-minute chart, waiting for the bar to go over here, and then this goes over here, and then it went down, and then okay, well, do I get in here? I missed the move. Okay, so I get back in, or is it? It's like, all right. So it's like I'd rather just do the work, have the plan, find the right setup, take 1, maybe 3 trades a day. If they're right, great. If they're wrong, oh well, there's tomorrow. Like it's not. There'll be new ones. There's always new ones. You know. So that's kind of how I trade the accounts. I don't really put a lot of risk on the accounts if they're paid accounts. The evals, like I said, if I'm trying to get ramped up, then I might throw more at it. But once they're funded, that's real money. They're always real money, but when they're funded, they're really real money. And you know you gotta treat them right, and you can scale them. So once you're consistently building up profit and hitting percentages, you just add more. Like it's not, you know,
Like Apex kind of changed, you know, like you guys watched my YouTube channel, you know, I like Apex. I like the fact that they've got their, you know, the 20 PA accounts that you can do. You know, I compared them to Top Step. I think Top Step's great too. And Top Step's starting to do this too, where you can have more than one PA account. It just changes the mindset though, right? Like, it's like, you know, used to talk about in this space, like, oh, let me try to get to a $50,000 account. You're not trying to do a $50,000 account. You're trying to put together what 500, what's that, 500K worth of trading
well,
funds?
I have
No, that's
500
no, a
that
million
funded.
in trading funds through
Right.
20 P accounts.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With leverage that goes beyond a million. I mean, it's probably $5 million worth of leverage you can,
You can really use, leverage right? Up. Yeah.
Right. So that's like a different, you know, approach than, oh yeah, I'm going to go from sim and I'm going to trade, you know, a contract or two in sim, and I'm going to go to this, you know, combine account that's 50K, and then I'm going to trade, you know, get past that, and then I'm going to trade that, you know, and kind of build up the account. And 2 years from now, I'm going to be at, you know, $1 million in funds, right? This is not that. This is right off the bat, right? I'm going to figure out, how do I pass these combines, and now how do I risk appropriately to maintain these accounts and grow them? Because, and I like this because, you know, if you think about like, you know, trader funding, you want to get paid as a trader. And so that if all you have is a $50,000 or $100,000 account, like you're going to be more willing, yeah, let me put on 2-3 contracts here because I need to get paid. Like I need to move this account. This needs to go. Are you not as worried about that now? Because like you've got 10 accounts. So 3 micros on 10 accounts,
Yep.
that adds up.
It does. Yeah. I'm trading. So for every 10, and Apex isn't the only place, right? So once you get it work, like once you've kind of dialed in and you're not putting on a ton of risk, and it's actually, you can see the account growing. I mean, even if you're only growing it like $50, $100, you know, 150. My goal is making sure, from a money standpoint, that I'm hitting 150, $200 a day per account. Yeah. And then the thing that scales is the accounts.
The accounts, right?
Right. Because with Apex, and really all of them, that $2,500 to $3,000 threshold. I mean, you know, you can do that, or you can do the 150. But with the 150, you get 4,500 of risk. but you got to get it to 9,000, right? It's just still the same thing. It's you
Yeah.
got to double it basically, right?
Yeah.
And so, but you're forced to kind of like trade it with, and I funded those, but I found that, I mean, I was never going below $600. Like it was never, I was never in drawdown of $600.
With your system, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as long as I stuck to it. Now, if I started like, venturing on the dark side and like, hey, this is working great. Let's try some real contracts.
Try something new here.
Yeah, let's add the NASDAQ to it and see what happens.
Hypos, smipos.
Yeah, as long as you stick with it, even if you have I think my win rate right now is around like 47%, which you hear they're like, oh, that's not that great. Yeah, but my profit factor is like 1.86, which still isn't the best because I'm usually going from 2 to 1 or 3 to 1. Sometimes I'll, take some off or whatever, but you're still ahead. Like it's not, it's not saying you can't be beat. You can, but if the only thing you're going to lose is if you get off of the process and you get off of the system and start kind of doing other things. So I've found that to be pretty effective. It's funding accounts. They're slowly building. It's not, you're not like, cashing in the next week, but they have consistency rules anyways. This is a mistake I've made before. This isn't the first time I funded accounts. I funded 20 accounts with them before trading minis. And I hit like 9,000 or something on 28 funded accounts each on an FOMC day. And then they're like, yeah, this isn't going to count. They're like, you have to so you had to trade it back up. You had to trade the account to like 27,000 or something because it hit 9,000 in one day, and they have the 30% rule. And so it's like, well, this is this is a pain, right? And so if you're not consistent and you're not trading a system anyways, they'll find whatever way they can to not pay out.
Yeah.
They see you just leveraging up whenever you feel like YOLOing your account. They're onto that. Like it's not
Yeah. By the way, guys, this is not like we're not advocating Apex or this is not a commercial for Apex or Top Step or any of those, right? I just want to be clear, but this is just talking to Mike about a strategy to use these guys and what they're providing in their services. I think there are others that offer multiple PA accounts. Does anybody else offer 20? Lilo offers 20.
Yeah, I know.
Lilo and
Blue Knox does, I think. I don't know. So I'll trade the PA accounts. I also trade my own money too. But I put those same rules on my personal money. Yeah. And so I'll only trade 1% size, right? So I just treat those other or like 2%. So I'm only risking $100 on the funded accounts, and then it's 2% of whatever my cash balance is, and then I'll put risk on. Yeah. And then that way I can kind of keep, I don't know, when it's my money and it's just like tied to like the funded accounts, I'm a lot more, I care a lot more about it, I guess. Whereas with the funded accounts, if it was just those, I'm like, well, it's just Apex, pay another $16, who cares? But when it's like, no, this is my cash. I don't know, I treat it better, I guess.
So Jose wants to know if you've ever gotten a payout with Apex. I think you're still early on.
No, I haven't. So I didn't find Taylor's program until probably a month ago. And it wasn't until then that I really started consistently funding accounts. And then, but since I've changed the way that I do things, it takes so long. Like it just takes a while to do, because you got to do the funding. That's going to take a month if you're good. And then it takes another month or two to once it's funded to even get it to where they're like, hey, you have a cushion now, so now you can take money out. Yeah. And even then, I don't think I'm going to take money out of them. I have one of the I guess the benefits that I have that I think would be a lot harder if I didn't have it is I have renewals from the work that I've done for the last 18 years. So I can trade and not worry about working or a paycheck or any of that kind of stuff. For at least until everybody dies, but for at least for a while. And so my goal is just to keep building up those accounts and treating them like real accounts, and have a multiplier of just funding more accounts. So I'll just add in, just add in Lilo, add in Blue Knox, add in whatever, and then just keep the process the same.
Yeah. And so you're going, I know you're going for 20, right? Mm-hmm. But then what you said, you're like, oh, I'll just keep adding more, right? So like now I'm thinking maybe you're going for 40. You have big goals, right?
Yeah.
So what are, like, would you want to share some of the big goals you have? Like,
yeah, I mean, well,
as a trader.
Yeah. Everything's money motivated, right? Money makes the world go round. If I'm not making up for what I could be doing otherwise, then it's not really worth it, right? So it's like, all right, well, I could just go do this and go on autopilot and not have to deal with the stress and the problems and the risk and the ups and downs, and just make money. Yeah. So as long as I'm able to replace, if I was just like selling insurance, then I'm good. So, but my real goals are making sure that I'm growing my account and that I'm seeing a steady growth. I believe right now it's a small number. I think we're around 5%. As long as I'm moving it up 5% every month, I'm good, right? Because I know that I'm seeing growth, and I leave room for drawdown weeks, or in some cases months. Usually not that bad, but it's usually you might go a couple of days where you're down and not up. So do you want me to give you like a number, or like how much I need to bring in?
Whatever you're willing to share.
I think as long as I'm replacing, for me, it's the real nugget that I need to make sure I'm hitting is like 15,000 a month. If I'm doing that, then I know that I'm growing my account the way that I need to.
Yeah.
Right? And then the Apex and all that kind of stuff, since that's never, that'll be there when it's there, but it's not there yet. So I'm willing to allocate, money that I already have or that I bring in, and say, okay, I'll throw that at funding programs. I'll do that as long as I'm seeing growth and it's multiplying.
Yeah.
The whole reason why I even found this, your program, was because the thing that I was missing was that consistency. I could get accounts funded. I could make good trades. I can have a good thesis. I can get it right, all that stuff. I would build them up, and then I would lose them. You spend a week, 2 weeks, whatever, 3 weeks building these things up, and then, all of a sudden you go and tilt and lose like 3 or 4 trades.
Yeah.
Right? You double down or get angry or revenge trade or whatever it is. You're going to lose your accounts.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's just a way to like keep me like regulated, keep me in check.
Yeah.
Even though I'm the person that's developing the trade plan and the process and has the ideas and, gets it right or gets it wrong, I'm also the one that's hitting the button that says, yeah, I want to double down. I'm right. Let's go. Right. And then
I'm right. I'm going to prove it to you, Mr. Market.
Yeah,
I'm
going to show you today.
I love it.
So it's just keeping, my biggest enemy is me.
Yeah. That's everybody.
Unfortunately. Yeah.
That's everybody. Right. Darko, we're going to get to your other question. Darko wanted to know, like, how did I do today? I'll actually show some of my trades today. I have no problem showing that, but he asks, what do you like the most from working with Mr. I'm not Mr. Taylor. You can just call me Taylor. Mr. Taylor's like, that's what my kids' friends call me.
Yeah. What do I like the most?
I feel so old now with the Mr. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
I'm curious to know, like, for me personally, like, what in the program flip the switch for you? Was there any one thing, or was it just a culmination of things? Like,
when I realized that I couldn't articulate my edge in my trading plan, like I knew it and I know it when I like look at it, but just the fact that I have to be like, oh yeah, okay, well, when this is here, this is here, this is here, okay, it looks good, right? and not be able to like type it out and say, okay, when this happens here, these things are in process, boom, 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 then I can take the trade. That the fact that I wasn't able to articulate that in a way that even I understood it at first
Yeah.
made me realize that I was not, when I wasn't as good as I thought I was, and that this is why I'm having consistency issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can
Yeah.
have good ideas and have good market intuition and like kind of be able to see what's setting up and all that kind of stuff. Doesn't mean anything if you can't follow a plan. If you can't follow your own plan, or none of it matters. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think about this a lot, obviously, right? Because I'm a coach and, I'm working with traders, and, it's like traders think that because they have a plan, they have an edge. And unfortunately, that's not the case. Most of the time, traders don't have a plan. They just think they do. And even if they have a plan, that doesn't mean that plan, that system actually has an edge.
Yeah.
And, anybody who's heard me, talk, knows that like I started out when I was doing the coaching stuff. When I started out, I was mostly doing mindset coaching, and I just kept running over and over into, traders like, dude, I can't coach you on mindset because you don't have an edge. Like it just became so obvious what the program needed to become, which was edge, process, mindset, because that was the number one problem I kept running into as a mindset coach, right? And
Right.
traders need mindset coaching 100%, but traders also need coaching on edge. Even really good traders who, think they're great, they need coaching on edge,
Yeah. No, I mean, the best players have a great coach, right? It's just that's all there is to it. You need someone to look at your stuff and say, hey, this is what you're, and poke holes in it. You beat it up, right? Hold you accountable. That's for me, I had to take every single thing that I do that I'm supposed to do every morning before I start taking trades and break it down. Okay, so I wake up at this time. I need to make sure I work out. If I don't work out, I'm going to have a bunch of tension built up, and I'll be overly energetic, right, and ready to go trade. That's not where I should be taking out my energy at. Take the energy out in the gym, not on the not on the trading floor. And okay, well, once I do my workout, did I meditate for the day? Am I centered? Am I where I need to be? Right. These are all real things you get to take inventory of. And once I started doing that, like things didn't get. I don't think it ever gets easy, but things got a little bit clearer. And when you start having those emotional reactions, or you can kind of like, okay, hey, what's going on here? I mean, today that happened. I was getting frustrated with I had my thesis and my hypo, and I took the trade, and I had, okay, it's going to go to 4404. I had my targets there because one of my processes, or the thing I'm working on, right, sticking with it until my target gets hit. It went to like 44,403.75, and then sold off. It's like, we're definitely going to get it on the second run. It didn't do it. So I stayed in.
Yeah.
And so I ended up closing when it hit my, I still made profit, but I think at one point that trade was up, 2-1, right? And it didn't close for that. It didn't close at a loss, but it wasn't as high as it got on the watermark.
Yeah.
But because I'm not trading with massive size, it's like, all right, well, that one didn't work. It's, a lot of times when I take my hypo and I do it the way I'm supposed to, and I close too soon, then I'm like, well, why did I close so soon? And da 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 da, right? Whereas today, I actually did it the way I sat on my hands. I was like, no, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to stick with what I said I was going to do. And then, it just didn't go to the target.
It's one of the hardest things for traders is when you do follow your process and you don't get the outcome. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, it's like, oh,
it still worked though.
On.
The process still worked. That's the thing.
Right.
It's honestly, it's just a numbers game.
Yeah.
It's just a numbers game because if you stop out, you stop out.
Yeah.
If you hit your target, guess what? You hit your target.
Yeah.
you're going to hit your target more than you're going to stop out more than hit your target. But when you hit your target, it's going to be for, 2 to 1, 3 to 1. And you just got to hold, because what I've noticed, what happens in the middle, if you start messing with it, now all of a sudden you're getting in, then you're getting out, and then you're like, all right, well, I'll get back in again. Oh, now I was running my stop again. All right, I got to get back. And then now you just lost a bunch of money trying to like trade chop. When you already had a position, you just left it alone. And you either, okay, come get my stop, whatever, or go to my target, fine. Either way, I'm either going to lose and hit my stop, or I'm going to make money and hit my target. Yeah. But I'm not going to give money back just sitting there trying to, trade chop.
Yeah. And commissions, right?
Sure.
You got all the commission stuff. And I think like this is such a good, like this is such an important part of the trading, is creating that discipline. Like every time we follow our process, it reinforces that discipline that we're trying to build. It's like a habit that we're trying to build. Even when it doesn't go well, like it's still a really great thing for us. Like that's the thing to remember about today, Mike, is like, even though the result wasn't what you wanted, think of all the benefits that come from having followed your process today.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I'm telling you to do because I know you're frustrated.
It's all good, man.
So you need to go coach yourself a little bit, because there's so much good that came from just following the process today, sticking with it, that the dividends, the results aren't today. You're going to see the results tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that.
Yeah. Right? Today was one of those days where it closed out 1-to-1, right? Still closed at a profit, but the what was built was the foundation that allows for it to go 1-to-3.
Yeah.
On the next time we hit a big run, and then why is this going up so much?
Yeah.
Or down so
great.
Much?
Yeah. I'm doing a workshop in December. You probably know about it because you're in the program, right? And what I'm doing is I'm going to teach one setup that I trade called the box setup. And it's like, it's not the best setup in the world. Like, I'm going to be totally blunt. Like, it's like it's nothing, there's nothing special about it. Right.
Right.
But and I think it has like it probably has like a 35% win rate, but it's got like a 2 to 3 to 1, win loss ratio. So it's got a positive profit factor over time. Right.
Right.
But the reason I'm excited about it is because, and I don't even care whether people end up positive or negative trading it. I'm not going to tell them to trade real money, right? That's not the point. But the point is that I'm giving the group a mechanical system with very clear rules, right? Like unequivocally clear. Like when this happens, you place the trade, right? There's no ambiguity here on when you place the trade. It's very clear. And what I want to come out of it, like what I'm really wanting out of it, is I want them to believe that they can be disciplined in following a process, right? At the end of taking 20 or 30 of those trades, you're going to walk away and be like, I can believe in myself and my ability to be disciplined, because that's so important to be able to believe in yourself. And B, I can manage through losses, because you're going to have like 7 losses out of every, 10 winners, right? 6 or 7 losses out of 10 winners, right? You're going to have to deal with the loss part.
Yes.
And you're going to have to learn how to accept loss. So I'm excited because it's not like, I'm not giving the best system in the world, but I'm giving training into trading a system. Right. And that's what I'm kind of excited about. That's where I think like, I'm so happy to hear that you followed your process today with such good discipline, because it's going to pay off such good dividends for you.
Well, I definitely wanted to close it multiple times, because I was like, well, this is doing this and this is doing this. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm going to get out. But I didn't. I held through it.
I do that all the time. Like I'll be like, oh, let me just, I don't know if it's going to hit my target. Let me get out early. And I'm always frustrated with myself, because I'm never happy when I do that, because I know I violated my process. And then 9 times out of 10, it actually does hit my target. Right. I just need to be a little more patient. Right. And so, like
Or pick better targets. That's what my problem may
Well,
be.
yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, I want to answer Darko's.
Sure.
I'm gonna show a couple trades I did today. Do you want, if you want to show any trades that you did, today or this week, or?
I think I can. Why don't you do yours and I'll get one pulled up?
Okay, I'll do mine. So I'll do. Hang on. Let me pull up. Let me pull up my ES as well. Because I'm gonna show. Let me show where I didn't do well. Well, where I didn't have a good.
Because I closed all my
outcome.
trading stuff for this call so that I wasn't going to be
Oh well, don't worry about it.
focusing on.
You don't have to. It's all good.
Okay.
It's all good. I'm just showing just because Darko asked the question. So Darko, this is for you. This is just because it's for you. All right, let me see. I need to share a screen, share my window. This one over here, and I think it's this one. All right, I'm going to add this to my scene. I'm going to throw this right here. I'm going to put this up here. Boom. Actually, this. Yeah. All right. Wait, hang on. Sorry, guys. I know. I'm trying to figure this software out. Just ignore all the lines. You don't need to know all the lines. Okay. Yeah. So I took this trade here in ES. So similar to you, Mike, I was actually targeting up here.
Oh, the 14s. Yeah, that was my runner target.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I think we could make it up there.
We should have. We've been consolidating for 3 days.
So we had this move up. We hit this. By the way, these boxes, these come up for me at 10:30. So these are drawn after the fact. These are things that I draw before.
Oh, really? Okay. So
yeah.
They're like fibs or something like that, or
totally different, dude.
some data, but a bunch of data that you do, and then awesome. The funny thing, we have the same targets.
It's interesting, right? Yeah.
Same targets.
So this is data trading. So this is using statistical data from the market for 20 years. So I'm looking at standard deviations as extensions and standard deviations as retracements.
Okay.
And then I'm looking at time frames. So this was my optimal retracement time block, this time window, and it didn't happen. I had a trade that came down into here. So when this came and triggered here, I entered, but my stop loss was here, and then I got wicked out.
Is this really the box setup?
Yeah, that was the box.
Really?
Setup. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is literally the same trade. This is the one trade I took today.
Oh, I love it.
But I took the break. If you just draw like an ascending wedge from 12 o'clock down to like 1 o'clock into basically there was news that was coming out, right? So you had like a Fed speaker coming up at 1. So what they like to do is they like to drive it down to get everyone all, dropping their positions.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, it's a nothing burger. And then we ran back up. But
yeah.
I thought we were going to make a bigger run, but I saw the consolidation right there. And then when we broke over that range of that 90 level, that's when I went long. So my average was like 89 or something like that.
Yeah, the 90 was solid. I mean, that's what I was looking at because it was basically the high.
Good trade. When that works, you're like, all right.
Right.
Yeah.
So CL trade was a different story. CL actually worked out really beautifully for me today. So this system works really well for me.
It's phenomenal.
So like this is my let me get rid of some stuff so it's not so messy.
Now, are you drawing the boxes manually, or are these coming up after?
I draw them manually, and I draw them based on data. So like I have data.
Oh wow!
So this is a tool I built where it's basically
this is your data flow, isn't that what you're serving?
Yeah, this is my data flow.
All right.
Everyone's gonna go back and take screenshots real quick.
I've already did it.
That's, I can send you a screenshot. No worries. But this is so I have time. Time is important in this system.
Yeah.
So time is like retracement times are important and extension times. So I'll show you one thing that's interesting here on, well, if we get to it. So this time window was important, and then this level was
Mhm.
important. So this was one trade here. I was break even. Um, again, so risk reward on this. This is my entry at the front of this. I tend to put my stop loss, like above
What?
2 deviations up, and then take profit 1 is here, and then take profit 2 is here.
Yeah, that's a great trade.
So that's a 7R trade. That one didn't work. That was a break even. But this one actually got in favorably on this one. So I got in at 65
Okay.
because it popped up, and I'm like, oh, let me get in really quick. All right, so this was my stop loss there, and I took take profit 1 right here, and then take profit 2 down here. So that was a 10R trade
That's
down here.
phenomenal. Yeah, these are because
Right.
I was watching CL and I think I had I know it was like 78, like 80 something, and I didn't get a chance to get back in, and I didn't know where to kind of look
Up
for
here.
yeah, but I didn't trade the morning part. I basically
Mm-hmm.
it tested it once, and I thought it would try and get it again, and it just never came back.
Welcome
Because
to
that's how I
CL.
feel. Like you come down and then yeah, and so I never got a chance to get in. But with what you're doing, you had a chance. It gave you that clearer entry. I mean, look at
Yeah.
how it reacted there too.
So CL's really interesting because like as I've back tested my system here, my rules,
Mm.
like one of the questions is if I have a level here, should I wait and see, you know,
Just take it.
yeah, do I take it immediately, right? And then potentially just take a loss if it spikes through.
Mm.
Or do I wait and see if another candle confirms that this is the level? And with CL, like it absolutely does not pay to wait. It
Right.
like it's
As
like
case in point, right today,
exactly. I mean,
my
it
trade
like
today.
wake up, boom,
Yeah.
hey, we're going to turn on a dime and we're gone, right? So, yeah, so like, that's a couple trades. So I had a couple small losses in ES or a small loss in ES and really nice winner in CL. So,
But that's beautiful when you are taking a lot because your risk to reward is so high. I
yeah.
mean, you only have to. I mean, you could probably still be profitable at a 20% win rate with 1 to 7. Like it's.
Yeah, so this isn't the box trade that
Oh,
I'm
okay.
showing. This is so there's several setups in that system. The box is one. This is another. This one actually has probably closer to a 55% win rate on this
Oh
one.
wow,
Yeah, yeah. With
awesome.
with a with a I think an average of I go back and look at my data. Something like a 5-6R is my average. I think 5-1 reward to risk on it. So it's got a very high profit factor.
Well, I like how every time we do one of these calls, you preview your system a little bit more to us. You're like, hey, let
Mm.
me show you guys this a little bit.
I do. I trickle it out. I trickle it out.
Yeah,
Well,
drip market it. Yeah.
I am like talking to the guys so like for people who aren't part of the community, so like I'm the coach in the market flow trader community, would love to have you come and get coached and be part of the community, right? So there's the plug. But I am talking to them about teaching this as another system. We just didn't want to confuse people because, they come in, they learn Patrick's system, they learn Revan's system if they're in the market chatter, or if they're in the live stream,
Mhm.
so they've already got like two edges. And then we're kind of like want to be fairly cognizant of the user experience of like, oh, what if we introduce a third? How is that going to work? But
Sure.
I think like it's valuable because there's some people that, the other two systems they're short term. They're very, scalping oriented. This is, you know,
Yeah, you put on a trade and it goes to your target or it doesn't.
yeah, and listen, like I'll have a string of losers just so everybody knows, like this system loses, right?
Yeah.
I'm showing great winners today. Like I'm not trying to like tell you like I win all the time. No, I I have my share of losers too, but it is a much more relaxed kind of trading for me because it's just very clear where I need to enter, where I need to exit. When the win is really important, like the time has been a game changer. Like these retracement windows of time, huge difference for me in my trading.
Yeah,
So
no, that's. I look forward to you said we're going to learn more about this in December.
you're going to learn a different system.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I'll learn something.
I'll just keep feeding it
the
in
box,
little by
the
little.
box trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
We'll
mean,
learn
I'm sure it
more
all
about
kind of. I mean, at some point it overlaps a little bit with. Um, the first one you showed us was the box trade, right?
Yeah, that one was yeah, so like
That's what we're gonna learn.
yeah, that one
That's fine.
is, let me see here. Hang on. Open that one up. Boom, boom, boom.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of mechanical systems. Like, I mean, I do the back testing, and I have one. It's just I don't follow it. Like, it's like I'll get into it, and it's like, oh, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
Like, it works fine on back testing, but
I know.
it's
I
like a
know.
normal trading day. It's like this doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
if it's contradicting your other trades, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to close this one out now. Like,
Let's see. Andy, very curious how you use key reversals. Is that something you can briefly share? Or is that, I don't know what you mean by key reversals. Did I mention that term? I don't know what you
no.
mean, Andy. So Andy, if you want to clarify there, how many trades do I have per week? Darko, it just depends, that's a loaded question because I have two trade setups primarily. One I call time and price, and the other we call the box. And so each one of those could have 3 to 6 trades in a week per contract or per instrument. So I know, Mike, you trade a lot with Mancini levels, and you really like Mancini levels. They've been really
Yeah,
huge
I
for you.
mean, I'll match them up with the composite, and that's kind of how I just build mine.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I
I
love that.
don't read his stuff first. Like I'll do my stuff and then I'll go look at his because I don't want to basically get pulled away by just I'll just do what he does, you know.
Yeah,
But I mean, I can tell you other people are looking at him and they're gonna be areas that the market reacts to.
I
So
there's so many people in the consistency accelerator now using them. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna have to subscribe.
yeah, they're probably closing there, and yeah, so if other people are looking at it like, hey, I'm selling here, then it might be
Yeah,
like a self fulfilling prophecy, right? To some extent,
yeah.
but
I know for sure now. Like that's the next thing on my list. I'm gonna subscribe to just because like I also want to stay up on with what my students in the program are doing. Right. Like if
yeah.
you guys are doing Mancini, I feel like I need to understand Mancini and see what those levels are about. So
Well, he has a different. His trading system is really basic. It's basically like failed breakdowns, and failed breakouts,
mm,
and then going with the trend. That's basically
yeah,
it. But I mean, if you listened to him today, you would have been fine. And close at the right time. Close level to level, not hold a trade. He'll just trade level to level. So if he'll have them marked out, and they're generally not like overly like I overshot. He said I should have been out a lot sooner. I held until
mm,
like the third Mancini deviation. So if I would have taken some off before, it would have been a lot better. But no, his stuff is good, and especially for new people, it's going to give you a perspective on um, you know major levels in the market. I mean, any way you slice it, these are levels that people are looking at.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's good. I'm always amazed at like how there's so many different methodologies for finding levels and yet so many times they correspond to each other. Like there's so much confluence often.
Yeah, we have the
Like
exact same ones.
like a lot of times, like pivot points, like I'd go look at pivot points and I'd go do, market profiling, composite profiles. And I'm like, oh, look, they match up. This level matches up with this. Right. So it's super interesting. Okay, Andy, I'll answer your question. And then if anybody else has questions for Mike, get them in right now and we'll answer questions. But let me answer this one from Andy. Dude, yeah, that's my secret sauce, man. That is an indicator that I created. Mike's going to have access to that indicator because he's in my program and doing my workshop.
Nice.
It's called directional IBs. So yeah, it's not a key reversal. Just so you know, not a key reversal. But it does something else. I won't say more. I love it. I love it. Okay. In your course, you share. Darko, Mike, how would you describe my course? Like, what would, if
well, now we're starting to get more into like a trading system, but I think that the process of learning the foundational stuff first, like the internal stuff, you do the plan, where's your mindset at, like that part of the workshop, that's where I've gotten and found a lot of value in. I know I'm going to find more value as we kind of progress with you introducing your specific system. But if I wouldn't have done that part first, and I almost think, you should like gatekeep it a little bit. Like, hey, you guys got to go through this to before you can even get to this, because you're going to need that skill set just to even appreciate, like the box or that type of trade. It requires you to have that level of patience and due diligence and like faith in the process and in yourself and to even stick with it. Because if you just take it wins 30% of the time, well, you might go through 3 or 4 losses before you see it pan out, right? And let people, unfortunately, will join stuff like this just to get trade ideas or get signals, and that's not what it is. It's a revamp of where your mindset is when it comes to trading. Because like I said, you could have a great plan, you could know what the market's going to do, you could have the best thesis and be in at the right time, but if your internal isn't managed the right way, if you're right, if you're not clicking and you're not synced up personally, mentally, right, spiritually, you're just gonna walk into landmines and you're not gonna see stuff coming. You're not gonna, and when you hit the inevitable, speed bump, right, or problem, you're not going to react the right way. Because you're not looking out for it. Like I look out for. I know that I go on tilt. I know that I yell at the market. I know that I start cussing. I know I go put my dog in his kennel because I'm like, dude, I can't deal with you right now. Like, I know that it's when
you're in the doghouse, dog.
When those signals start popping up, it's all right. Hey, maybe it's time to not trade today. Like, let's take a break, right? Or let's just take a step back, right? And I literally push away from the desk, right? Like, okay, what am I looking at here? Is this my trade plan? Am I supposed to be trying to trade this chop? No, my entry level's down here. Why the hell am I messing with it when it's up here? Just screwing around in the middle with everyone else getting killed. Like I do that. I'm just as guilty. I'll see the big green candle and be like, it's going up now. It's time to make money. But you recognize it.
I love hearing from different people, like why they're in the program, because like the why is often different, So like, this is for Darko, because you're asking. Thank you for asking this question. I appreciate it, because lets me talk about the program and something I'm passionate about. I created this because one is I struggled for so many years to be consistent as a trader. And when I kind of boiled it down to like, okay, like what does it really take to be consistent? And this is, this isn't just wisdom for me. This is, I learned from some really great people. I had some great mentors. I talk about Merritt Black all the time. It's like, I love Merritt. He kind of made me who I am as a trader. And, as I've gone through that process, there's three things that really traders need in order to be successful. And it's edge, process, and mindset. And, Mike came in, I think you were good on edge. You were mostly good on, I thought you were mostly good on edge. Like you had a pretty good grasp of your plan, even though you said earlier, in the stream, you're like, yeah, I had to go back and fix it and clarify it and that stuff. Right. And that's what the program does. It forces you to go and make sure you have a trade plan, and a trade plan that works, that has a statistical edge. And if you don't have that, you don't proceed any further. And then once you have that, then you learn about process. Like, how does process you better? How do you actually get that edge? And then we deal with mindset and stuff, because mindset will always be there. There's always a struggle to follow the process consistently, And so those three things are the areas of focus for the program. This isn't, like, my intention isn't to teach you a specific system. Like, I know there's a lot of people out there that'll teach you a specific system of trading. And we have that. We have a couple guys in the community that teach a specific system. So if you don't have an edge, if you don't have a set of rules, you can get it within the community. But this is about, how do you become a professional, consistently successful trader? What do you do? Like, how do you take a set of rules and actually turn yourself into a consistent trader? That's really what it's designed to be. So that's the program. So Marco, thanks for asking that. I appreciate it. I like talking about this program. I like it. I like it a lot.
No, I mean, it helps, man. Nobody else is doing anything like this. Like, everything's about, the signal and the, just trade the system. You'll make money. And you can make all the money in the world, but if you can't manage your impulses and yourself, right, which most people can't, I can't, then it doesn't matter. You're gonna go risk it all anyways and blow it up. So.
Yep. Yeah, we learned that from the Wall Street Bets people.
Sure. Yeah.
YOLO. Mike, this was awesome, man. I so appreciate you coming on, being willing to talk, exposing the good, the bad, and the ugly. I learned so much from you, like your dedication, your hard work, your ethic, your work ethic. You're doing it because you're putting in the effort. Like, this is also, when it comes to the program stuff, like, this is one thing I tell people all the time, like, your success depends on you and what you do with the material. Like, I'm a coach, but I can't make you do the work. And Mike, like, you're doing the work. And it's so fun to see your journey and where you're headed, and your big goals of 20 and then 40 PA accounts. I can't wait to be like, yeah, I'm trading 60 PA accounts right now. I'm like, I'm not making 15K a month. I'm making 150K a month. Right. That's where you're headed. And I love that. I love that thinking, big thinking. So,
as long as I stick with the process.
Yes, that's right. Yes. I love it. All right, everybody on YouTube, thanks for being here. I'm going to turn off the stream, and happy to have you. And we'll have some more chats like this with some other great traders.
Awesome.